Hello, everybody. Thank you so much for tuning in again to another episode of Child. You can follow me on Instagram at my love my need tonight. That's my Instagram name. My YouTube name is I'm not really sure, but if you're watching this on YouTube, check me out on Spotify because I'll have music up. There's a little YouTube is slightly better, but music, I have like music playing in the beginning or throughout the episode of what's on my mind, what's the music that's been in my mind or what I've been listening to throughout the week or whatever reflects on the topics. So let's just go right into it. I want to tell a quick story. So I go to Nectar to get smoothies. Nectar is like it's a juice place. It's a cleansing place. You can get smoothies, and it's like a health drink store. I don't know if everybody has that in their country, in not the country, in their state. But the one we've had here in Louisiana, in Shreveport, Louisiana, it's been probably like 3 years, I think, 2 or 3 years since they've been around. And it seems like every time I go in there, it's a new person in there. And what I don't always go to Nectar, but they do have like straight from the earth type drinks. And it's like 3 or 4 ingredients into the drink. But I'll go to like Smoothie King and they're a little bit more cheaper, but some of their drink options aren't my favorite. So I'll always get the same thing or whatever. Well, I always get the same thing from both places. From Nectar, I normally get the turmeric sunrise. And it's like orange juice and pineapple, mango, turmeric, and like ginger or something. And the thing is, the turmeric really overpowers the drink in a way to the point where I'm like, this drink, the turmeric is so fucking strong. It tastes like a taco. Like the drink tastes like a taco. Like it reminds me of like Mexican food or like a burrito or a taco type situation. So I've been thinking like maybe I should use turmeric, but that's not the story. So I might actually go get some turmeric and see. Because I see people put turmeric in their recipes and stuff. Okay, quick story. So I go there and I went there today and I got the turmeric sunrise and I just realized looking up at the board after like 3 years of going there, oh, you can add different things. You can add on stuff to your drink. So I realized that and I was like, oh, can I get strawberries added? And so she's like, yeah, go ahead. Well, you can. It still tastes it tastes okay. I added strawberries and it tasted like a earthy from the ground, dirty taco. Like it was pretty bad. It wasn't horrible, but it was pretty bad. I normally tolerate the stuff that I get from there. They have like a dragon fruit thing. I've had the dragon fruit, I have the turmeric sunrise, and then I keep forgetting. I think the pink flamingo is a part of the dragon fruit thing situation, drink, smoothie, whatever. They have those. I've had the like an actual like juice, not a juice, an actual like a green juice, and I didn't realize it, and it was cold. It just no wait, it was hot. I think it was hot, and it just wasn't it. Nectar, please get it together, especially after today, because I went there to get a drink. And once I realized it, I started looking at all the, okay, so they don't swipe, okay, they swipe your card, but they don't, okay, they swipe your card, they turn the screen around so you can sign for it, then they print a receipt out. So all that happened, and I'm still like transfixed on oh, I can put stuff into my drinks to make them hopefully taste better, but they don't. So far, they don't. And so I realized, oh, the lady, once she flipped the screen around, she walked away. And so I'm like, I put my number, I like sign it, and then I press enter. This was supposed to be an under 5 minute story. Here we go. I sign it and stuff. she walks away, and I'm like, oh, okay, she walked away, and I'm still like fixated, like, oh, maybe I should have put mixed berries in it. Oh, I should have put chia seeds because I haven't eaten. I'm gonna eat later. Like I like fill myself up. It was just like I was just going through it. I was just like so transfixed, and so she goes in the back and she doesn't give me my card, and I didn't realize it until I'm way down the street at Walmart, like 10 minutes away at Walmart, and I'm like checking out, and I'm like, oh shit, did I leave my card? Oh shit, because I didn't drive to the Nectar. I kind of walked over. I'm like, oh shit, did I drop my card? I freaked out, and I'm not like a misplacing. Although I misplaced the lime today, I don't know where the lime went. I'm not a misplaced freak. I normally know where everything is. I'm very neat to a certain degree, but I'm very neat. I know where stuff is. I don't lose stuff often. So like me, like losing my bank card, and it's a bank card. I'm like, oh, holy molele, let me go and find it. So I go, and I realize, oh, that new girl didn't give me my card back. Like, oh my god. And I'm just like, I'm thinking like, why did she walk away? Like, what did she go do? I don't know. It's always something. That's what I'm realizing. It's always something with these people. But anyways, Nectar. But okay, so let's get into it. So I was gonna do this story. I wasn't gonna do this podcast tomorrow, but I'm like, let me do it tonight. Because I wanted to watch Kelly Rowland. She has a performance on Good Morning America next in the morning, which is Thursday morning. Hopefully I'm sure this will be up by then. But we'll talk about her performance next week. It'll be her first solo performance in a very long time. I know she did some X Factor stuff, but like a solo music, yeah, it's been a while. It's been over 5 years. Over 5 years, definitely. Okay, so Patti. Some Patti LaBelle news. So I was scrolling through her Instagram, and I had seen that Patti was going to be on the show. Well, not her Instagram per se. It was like her tags on Instagram. And I see that she was going to be on this show called Cooks Talks? Cook Talks. I'm forgetting the name, and I wrote it a little sloppy. I think it's called Cook Talks. And it's basically like chefs and cooks, they go into this show, and I'm guessing it's like virtual, and it's because on the website it's audio, and the people, they go on the show and they cook and they talk and they cook and they talk like the show says, and they like go step by step of their recipe, and I'm guessing they were like video chatting with like maybe like a Zoom or something. But like I said, on the website, it's audio, and she made her crab cakes, which sounded amazing. She made an aioli sauce. They're not fried. They're broiled. Everything's pretty cooked. She was like, everything's cooked. They're not fried. They're boiled. She made an aioli. She was drinking her wine. It sounded really good. Like, I had crab cakes before, and they weren't my favorite, but those, I'm not just bigging her up, but literally Patti sounded good. But the thing is, this was like taped a year ago, basically. This was taped in May, because one of the people that were cooking along, they were like, oh, it's my birthday. It's my birthday today, Patti. Can you wish me a happy birthday or whatever? And she was like, are you a Gemini? If you're a Gemini, you have to be a Gemini because your birthday it's today. It's May or whatever. So she was like, yeah, I'm a Gemini. So I'm like, okay, this was taped a year ago, basically, because we're in March already. This was taped a year ago. And it's just now coming out, which is kind of weird, but okay, whatever. She was always talking about, let me wash my hands, or my hands are clean. And I feel like she's always saying that because not only is Patti a germaphobe, but she's always like, referring. I think people always refer to that Tyra show thing where she it was her in that what did she do? She did like low calorie meals, simple girl, simple. It's like simple girl meals or something from the Food Network, and Patti was like, "I wash my hands, boo." They got into an altercation. You guys know what it is. Go on YouTube and watch Tyra and Patti. You know what that is. They always bring that up. It's funny. And then she said one of the questions were if you can sing with anybody now. Of course, they always ask that dumbass question. Or someone who you haven't collaborated with before. She said she would like to do something with Barbara Streisand. And I'm like, okay. Was that like, oh my gosh, oh my god, this story. Okay. And then she was like, I don't know if that was like an off the fly question, off the fly answer, or she really meant that. But we'll see. We probably won't, but we'll see. Okay, and so then she told this Patron story. She said the first time allegedly she had Patron, she was in the club and she basically got wasted. She said she's trying to keep up, quote unquote, with the young folk in the club, and Patti got wasted, and she said never again. I think I think one of the ladies was drinking margaritas or something, and that was funny. So Cook Talks, yeah, go and check that out. There is a website. She is tagged in the post on Instagram. It was pretty cool. It's like 30 minutes long. I was dreading it, but here we are. Also, something that came up was Patti singing You Are My Friend, and it is to her friend Kevin Spence. Now, Kevin Spence passed away in January of cancer, and she sang that song to him. He was a restaurant owner in Philly, so, you know, I'm sure they were close, and she did a really good job. Even like when she was like crying and stuff, she sounded really good. I listened to it like probably about 5 times now. Very good, very very good, Miss Patti. Thank you for that, and shout out to Kevin Spence's family. It was taped in January. I don't know why or how it came up because I had looked at a photo from John Stanley, and I realized, oh, this was from January, and the photo was from January, and I was like, oh, okay, they made this in January. Okay, so just a heads up, today I'm going to talk about Billie Holiday, and I'm going to talk about the Clark sisters. It's their 1-year anniversary on March 13th, I believe, of their album The Return, and I'm going to give you a little review, my favorite songs, my favorite moments. Hopefully it won't be too long because, child, that's a really good album. It's a really good album. One thing I want to say is Lil Nas X. Now, Lil Nas X has a new song coming out on the 26th, and he teased it before, and I'm only saying this because I was looking for the song because he keeps playing it in his like Instagram and his like TikTok stuff, and he keeps playing it. I'm like, oh my gosh, wait a minute. This song sounds really good. It's called Monterio, Call Me By Your Name. And I believe Monterio is his name, I'm sorry, his actual government name. So I'm like, okay, this will be very interesting. I kind of can't wait until it comes out. Let's get it. Because it really does sound good. And then they're talking about you can pre-save it. I hate that pre-save shit. Like, I wonder where is technology in terms of music. Where is it going to go? We went from buying records to cassettes to CDs. Now everything's digital. Now you can pre-save. You still can pre-buy. I think you still can pre-buy stuff. But we'll wait until the 26th to make some thinking. What's today? I believe in 4 days, the Grammys is coming on. Oh, that means I gotta give a Grammy review. Okay, whatever. Um, Let me tell you something about these chromatica cookies. I don't know why I wrote chromatic Oreo cookies. They call it chromatic cookies. They're terrible. I was going to go on a little thingy about Lady Gaga's Chromatica, but we'll save that for another day. Which I really do like the album. I didn't at first like all of the album, but now I like 95% of the album. Those Chromatica Oreo cookies. I don't know if somebody on my timeline was being fake or not, but they were like, "Ooh, these are really good," but like they're terrible. Like it's like a dye or something in it. The packaging and the marketing is genius and great. Well, although I think Christina did it. No, Christina didn't have her own cookie. She just promoted Oreo. Christina Aguilera. Um, but yeah, the Chromatica cookies, they're terrible. Don't waste your time. Or if you do, I got them. A friend of mine got them from the dollar store. Go to the dollar store, get you some. Let's move along to Morgan Wallen. Now we know Morgan Wallen, the country singer. Like what was it? Like early last month. Has it been last month? Or it's like late January. It's probably late January at this point because this album is still number one on the Billboard Hot 200 album charts. Oh my gosh. You know, we talked about him a couple of weeks ago, how he said the Nigger word. And I don't think any Niggers were around for him to be saying that too. So he was just like saying it. I don't know. I really don't. You know, okay, so he said it. He said the word. And now his album, people are still supporting because his album is still number one for the 8th week, you guys. The 8th week. This is insane. This is like dangerous. No pun intended, because his album is called Dangerous, the double disc or something like that. I think it's a re-release. The album's number one for the 8th week. Oh gosh. Where are we going? Where are we going? Another thing, speaking of dangerous, quickly, I'm just going to quickly say this. Meghan Markle and this Piers Morgan thing. Piers Morgan has been saying very anti and salacious and negative things about Meghan Markle because he asked her out on a date, I believe, and she said no. And I feel like that is incredibly dangerous, and I feel like he's slightly getting away with too much and not being held accountable for what he's saying about her because of what he's done, what she's done to him. Not even what she's done to him, because of what happened between them, which is nothing, but I feel like he needs to be held accountable, and people still need to bring up the fact that it's this man attacking this woman because she rejected him, and I feel like that's incredibly dangerous because it just allows so much for men to get away with when it comes to women in that sense. That's all I have to say. Hopefully I made a little sense. I'm a little sleepy, but we're going to be here. We're here. So we're going to talk about the Clark sisters next time when I come back, and then we're going to talk about Miss Billie Holiday. Oh, Billie. So next week, my Patti update will be is going to be the Patti's Pearls and my little review on her book, Patti's Pearls. So I'm going to take a break, and I'll see you in a second. Thank you for sticking around. Okay, so we're back. Let's talk about the Clark Sisters. The Clark Sisters album, The Return, came out on March 13th. I'm doing this a little early because I don't normally tape when March 13th comes around this year. I was just doing the math. This is their first album in 32 years. Their first studio album. Now, the last album they did was a live album, and that came in like '09, I think. Oh, no. I think it was like '07, '06, '07, I think. And that was called Live One Last Time. The one before that they did was another live album, and I think that was in the late '80s. And then, oh wait, no. Okay, but the last studio album before this one that they made was in '94, and that was a Miracle. But that one was without Twinkie. Now this one, the official last studio album with all of them together was Conqueror, and that came out in '88, and that was 32 years ago. Oh my gosh. To actually like think about it, like, oh my gosh, that's pretty crazy. So, first of all, this album won one Dove Award, and that's pretty much it at this point. And excuse me, the Grammys, I think, snubbed it. They didn't even give it like a song. They didn't even nominate a song. I really think the Grammys snubbed it. Now, we know J. Drew, which is Karen's son. You know, there's Karen Clark Sheard, Twinkie Clark Terrell. I was trying to think, wait, what is it? Dorinda Clark Cole. And then we have Jackie Clark Chisholm? Jackie Chisholm Clark? Jackie something. Jackie, aka not really a Clark sister, but that's not what we're talking about today. We're talking about The Return, so let's stay focused. Let's start it off. Been So Good. They come out swinging on this album. Swinging. Been So Good. Excuse me. They come out swinging harmony-wise. We're here. We're packing a punch. God's been so good to me. Open doors I could not say. I'm going to tell it. Boom, boom. I'm going to tell it. Boom, boom. I got to tell it. Boom, 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 boom. They come out swinging. This was written by Twinkie, Dorinda, and J. Drew. I didn't even know that. I didn't know Twinkie wrote Been So Good. Been So Good is low-key, okay, some days it's number one, but really His Love is like number one, my favorites. Okay, so Been So Good is very jazzy, very funky. I think Dorinda's the lead singing on this one, on Been So Good, and she's like, J. Drew gave me my funk back. He gave me my like jazz moment back, because you know she has like that raspier voice, that specific voice, and she does like mostly like jazzy runs and jazzy scats and stuff like that. Well, they all do, but I feel like it kind of fits Dorinda a little bit better, and I feel like that is her. I think when Twinkie back in the day would write certain songs, she would say Twinkie would give me these certain like groovy tunes, and this one is a groovy tune. It has great vocals, it's incredible live. That's what I was saying, like, some days, which one is my favorite? This one is pretty much my favorite, because they did it for their concert, their virtual concert last year, and it is incredible. It's incredible. But just basically because I love live music. They have incredible blend. Dorinda. Sometimes I can hear Twinkie too, and we know Twinkie doesn't always. Twinkie isn't always. I don't think Twinkie's on all of these songs, or she's like really, they turn her mic down or whatever. And Twinkie, she's not Clark sisters crazy like the rest of them love the Clark sisters. Hence why I said Miracle would have been their last album, but Conqueror was the last of all four of them on an album. Because we know Twinkie bounced for a while, a very good while. But their blend, like Dorinda and Karen, have such incredible blend, and they know what key to sing the blend in. Not to leave out Jackie in any kind of way, but obviously Dorinda and Karen are killing it. And to be honest, Karen killed this album. She gave this album 100%. She gave it amazing. She really gave it her all. Incredible. Okay, let's move along. His Love, featuring Snoop Dogg. Is that where I wanted to go? No, it's not, but here we go. His Love. This is my absolute favorite song. It's one of my favorite. It's my favorite song of 2020, even though Spotify said He Can, which is also on this album, came up number one. But I feel like His Love is definitely number one, featuring Snoop Dogg. This is like R&B meets gospel into its core. It's like trap gospel. It's what Erica Campbell wanted to. It's what Erica Campbell did with I Love God. I Love God. I'm sorry. It's what she did with All I Want to Be Is Well Done. It's what she did with Well Done. This is like the Clark sisters version of trap gospel or whatever that genre they made up. Karen put work into this song. Her and Dorinda really did amazing, but Karen really put in the work into this song. You can hear everybody. I said this is when R&B was gospel. It's really amazing. Karen's her ad libs and her vocals are very much R&B, which like I wanted her to do more. Maybe she did more and they cut it out, but I wanted her to do more towards I think it's towards her vamp when her and Dorinda, you don't have to worry because it's all right. I think right before that part, Karen really goes in, and like I said, yeah, Dorinda, she really kills it. That like gospel, the gospel preachy type thing, Dorinda's a preacher, and she's like, you don't have to worry because it's hard. She gave a little hood to it. She really gave it. I really love this song. I love, and then, it starts off kind of like slow, not slow, the main tempo is kind of like piano or like organ or whatever, very one note, and then it builds up into this. I think my mom said His Love is her favorite song. It's my favorite song too, mommy. Because they played on the radio. And it was a single. And then it like kind of like switches like that switch, and then it goes His Love, dum, 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 dum. I'm doing the wrong beat, but it gets really hood, real gangsta. Please listen to His Love. The video is not my favorite, but they did what they got to do for those videos. We're in a pandemic. You got to do what you got to do. The video is like the animation. The animations were cute, but I think they could have been better. They could have been like a little bit more like animated instead of just animated. But please, if you don't listen to any other song from the Clark sisters, go listen to His Love. And the thing at this point, from Been So Good to what's the other song? Whatever song is after Been So Good, and then they go to Smile, God Loves You. Those 3-4 songs, they're kind of like taking you back in time. They're kind of like older version, like the older Clark sisters sound, not necessarily vocally, but sound. well, okay, it's classic Clark Sisters. And then this song kind of brings us into like a modern day type, because they do say this album is like old and new Clark Sisters, an older Clark Sisters mixed with the new Clark Sisters, thanks to Jay Drew. And Jay Drew, he's Karen's son and the producer of the album. Also, this album was their first album on K. Roo Records, which I think. Okay, I don't think it's the first. I don't think K. Roo, this is the first one. Because I think Karen's Destined to Win was a K. Roo production. But Jay Drew, he said he went and listened back to like the 80s and 70s Clark Sisters and wanted to pay homage in a way, or wanted to bring that feeling back, but make it new. And I think incredible job. Incredible. The next song is He Can. Amazing vocals. You hear everybody. The blend is incredible. The thing about the Clark Sisters blend is they know what to sing. They all know their parts. So when it's time to sing it, they just sing it. And it's just like second nature. It's just like eating toast. It's like drinking this Welch's orange and pineapple juice that's really delicious. It is second nature to these women, thanks to their mother, Mattie Moss Clark. Because of her and her creation and what God gave her and her ear and her creation of the 3-part harmony, they are the living 3-part harmony. Incredible. He Can, like I said, it's my favorite song. I mean, Spotify said it was my favorite, but I say no. Their vocals on He Can are so layered. It's layered upon layers upon layers. And it's just like, this song, honestly, I think He Can will probably be the hardest song for them to sing live. Because there's so many layers, and then you hear everybody. You hear Twinkie, you hear Jackie, you hear Dorinda. And it's like the back and forth at the quote unquote bridge part. Oh my God, that's enough. I wasn't going to talk about this song because I'm going to spend too much time talking about this album and I don't want to do it, but here we are. Okay, if you haven't noticed, I really do love this album. I listen to it at least once a week. I don't know what I wrote over there. So let's go on to You Shall Receive. You Shall Receive, honestly, it got me through 2020. It's like this motivational, inspirational song. Again, Karen and Dorinda, they really go in it. It's like slow and it's mellowed out and it has like, open the windows of heaven. Ask what you need, you shall receive. Oh my gosh. I don't know if we got it, but that was really like my prayer in 2020. Angel, who is Jackie's daughter, she wrote on this. Incredible song. The ad-libs at the end are just incredibly beautiful. I don't think they translated it well live. The ad-libs part, the main chorus of the song, the main chorus and main focus of the song, I think they did well. Victory. I'm sick of hearing Victory. Victory is the next song we're talking about. I'm sick of hearing Victory. It did win best. Oh, it was a BET nomination for the gospel category at the BET Awards. I listen to it when I want to. It was their first single. It wasn't what I expected. I don't know. It was what I expected. I think the performance of their first single wasn't what I expected. But it's a pretty good song. It's very churchy. It goes back into that time period. Oh, did I hit? Oh, okay. I don't think Twinkie's on Victory. I can't necessarily hear Twinkie. I definitely hear Dorinda. I definitely hear Karen. Karen's leading the song. I definitely hear Jackie. I don't think Vicky. I don't think Vicky. I don't think Twinkie's on there. The message wise is very good. I don't think it would be my pick for a first single. Um, See, I need to get better handwriting because I don't know what I just wrote there. Anyways, on to Masterpiece. There's many songs that go after Victory. There's Nobody. There is that other single that they did with that had a better visual. I think was it Karen that had the braid. It was like this Black Power moment during when George Floyd died, and it was like the summer, so everything was hot and really intense. Things were burning down, and I think they reflected that in that song, which I'm not mad about. But we're gonna move on to Masterpiece. Masterpiece was produced by Jermaine Dupri, and I believe it's written by him too. Yeah, written and produced. So nobody got credit on that one, except for JD. It's not 100% gospel-y, but it's definitely, you could take it there if you think about it, but I feel like it's definitely, bring me back my time, give me back my peace, give me back those years. I trade you all these tears. Yeah. And then they kind of have to bring it to God. I'm surprised nobody else is written down as a writer on this one. It's a good song. It translated well live also. It's a good song. Let's get on to the favorites. Okay, so we have the next like 3 or 4 songs. I'm talking about, the next 3 songs are, I think there's another one in between here. Broken to Minister. Oh my gosh. The next song is called Broken to Minister. I'm speechless because it's incredible. I don't know how this album or some of these songs weren't nominated for a Grammy or nominated for more awards than what they were. I don't know what the music game was like in 2020 in the gospel industry, but I feel like the Clark sisters won. I feel like they really won. They really gave incredible music, incredible lyrics, incredible vocals. Broken to Minister, led by Karen. They say it's the Clark sisters song. Maybe I need to get the actual album copy to know who sang or what. Because I was just like, when I first heard the song, you clearly hear Karen and Kiara, who's Karen's daughter. You clearly hear it. But I wanted somebody to say it. I wanted them to say it. Like, yeah, that's my girl. We sang the song. Nobody said anything. Oh, Jesus. Nobody said anything. And it gives like this praise dance vibe. I wrote praise and worship at first, but I'm like, I think it's like a praise dance type song. Like the groove vibe, quote unquote vibe to it is very praise dancey. Karen is just killing it with her. Okay, they have everybody singing the same damn thing. Everybody singing the same riff. Everybody singing the same run. Everybody, and I'm not saying that like it's complaining. I'm just like, this is how the song is set up. And it's like how they match and harmonize with each other. I think Angel might be on the song also. She also does like backgrounds for the Clark sisters live. Karen and Kiara and possibly the Angel, they're just harmonizing with each other and same riffs and same runs and holding out this note. And you guys, Broken to Minister, I was incredibly disappointed with Karen's version. I feel like Karen low-key only does well. Karen has like a Clark Sisters voice, and then she has a solo Karen voice recently. And I know she said her voice is changing. I'm not going to say I necessarily hear it, but I feel like maybe you're just not giving enough effort into it sometimes. I was so disappointed with the live version, like I said. It's not my favorite. They just vocal layered the song out, and then Karen on the bridge, she like hits this note. She just goes higher and higher and repeats it, and then like the you can't even hear the proper note because she just hits a note that the mic I don't think can capture to where it sounds like the note sounds muffled. Incredible. Karen she blew the mic out. I love this song from the beginning. I still do love it. Oh, I love that song. Power. A powerful song. It's a vulnerable song. Jackie's leading it. It's slightly vulnerable. The creative of it is incredible. I'm like, how did you, okay, was the song created or did you envision the song and you had them create it? Incredible song, incredible lyrics. The beginning of it starts off with them, like a warm up. I'm not gonna say it's a warm up, but I'm gonna say it's a warm up type, like do do do. Like yeah, they're like warming up or whatever, but it's like a solid rehearsed warm up, with like them harmonizing and vocalizing their talents. And then it goes in, Jackie leading. She did really great on this song. And there's like video of her and Dorinda messing around in the studio, Dorinda having fun with her in the studio. Karen kills the backgrounds. Okay, so it goes to the intro of the song, the solid piece of Jackie's leads, and then we go into this Mary J. Blige. No More Drama sample. I forget what's the sample that Interpolode. And Jackie kills No More Drama, no more pain, no more sorrow. And then they repeat it, and then they go into this like, it's not coming to my house. This vamp with Dorinda giving incredible ad-libs. I'm surprised this one wasn't done live. I think I was a little disappointed when this one wasn't done live, but there's only a certain amount of songs you can sing. How am I holding that? Okay, so Dorinda goes insane on this song. She really brings it together. She really gave her great preacher ad-libs. It's not coming to my house. I'm gonna change my locks, clean the closet out. The devil is not coming to my house. And then you have Karen repeating that solid, it's not coming to my house. No, not. And then it's like all these like extra moments and extra things going on in the background of the song. And I'm just like, was the song created in your head, or did you create the song did you create it as you went? Dorinda, amazing. And I feel like this song with the No More Drama sample brings like gospel, like everything. Every secular song isn't horrible. Every secular song can be incorporated into this gospel moment. Incredible. And I'm just like, it brings gospel and R&B together very beautifully. Very beautifully. But I don't think nobody's put down as another writer. I think it was just like 3 or 4 writers on that one. Great song, Power. That's the song. The song is called Power. So next one is Good Favor. Good Favor is like everybody's favorite because I feel like it's a new creation of Clark Sisters. Good Favor is up-tempo, an up-tempo song written and produced by Kurt Carl, who is a gospel legendary producer, legendary like creator in the gospel community. And I remember Larry Reed. Larry Reed is a Church of God in Christ church commentator on YouTube. I remember him saying it was like right before the first song Victory came out as a single. He was talking about it, and I think this is when he was doing his interviews with the fifth Clark sister who left. I can't think of her name. It was around that time, and so he was like he heard Good Favor, but he didn't say it was Good Favor. He was like, I've heard a gospel. I've heard one of the Clark sisters what they've been working on, and I think they've been working on this album for like 2 or 3 years at this point before it came out because of the Kirk Carl comments and interview that they did with him. But he was like, I've heard this song, and it's incredible. I've heard a couple other songs from them, but this song is incredible. And he was talking about Good Favor. Good Favor was, 3 years prior. And they had a talking intro, as we learned in this one interview with Kurt Carl. They had this like talking intro, which now that I can kind of hear it. Like, girls, we've been going on this long, and God has just blessed us. Yeah, girl. I feel like it was sort of something like in the Miracle, what they had in during the album Miracle. They had like a little talking intro. I feel like I can hear it, and then it goes straight to, when you're looking at me, you see someone grateful. When you're looking at me, you see someone blessed. When you're looking at me, you see someone. Okay, I'm forgetting the words. But the one thing about this song is it takes that 3-part harmony, and I feel like the Clark sisters have always done this live, or they've always remixed it into their songs live. But I don't think it's ever been on an actual track, an actual song, a studio album song. And then you do hear these extra vocals. I mean, like a choir sort of thing in the background singing along with them, but their main voices are there. And like I said, the thing about the song is it brings that 3-part harmony that they have, or like the little like jazzy thing that they have. You know, Karen's doing a little jazzy thing. Do 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 do. God smiled. I mean, then you have Twinkie and Dorinda. Like he's calling all you. Like Kurt is calling them all. I think it's a Donald. I don't know. I don't know who's calling them out. It's like, your turn, Twinkie. Dorinda. Yeah. So it brings all that. It brings like their mother's gift from God and what she's instilled into them and brought out in their talents. It brings that all together and brings it onto the song, which is really beautiful now that I think about it like that. Dorinda, here we go at the end. She just brings it all together with her little vamp, her little, I don't look like the sickness, I don't look like the struggle, I don't look like the heartache, I don't look like the heartbreak, because God has smiled on me. I have good favor. Really great song. It's a good song. Every now and then I listen to it because it's kind of long, but we get the point. In the end, this is such a beautiful, cohesive album. I feel like albums sometimes these days aren't cohesive enough. It has great music, it has great lyrics, and incredible vocals. You hear Twinkie. Oh, especially on Good Favor, you hear Twinkie and her growling. You hear Twinkie doing her low notes. It's not like a male in there. It's not like they have the tenors. They have Twinkie in there singing. The deluxe album was disappointing because all they had was like this musical remix, not necessarily anything extra for His Love, and it was another song, but the photo was cute. But all in all, great job, Clark Sisters. 2020 was a great year musically for you guys, and I so appreciate the music, and it really got me through 2020. Some days, some months, it really got me through, and Thank God for you guys. Thank God for the blessings and great album. The Return. Go listen to it. So for the main course and the last segment of this podcast, child, let me tell you about Billie Holiday. Her movie called Billie Holiday, or the U.S. versus Billie Holiday. It stars Andra Day. We have some Trevante Rhodes, the wonderful actress from Dolomite, the female lead character in that one. Who else is in this movie? Oh, Tyler James Williams, I believe his name is, from Everybody Hates Chris, one of my favorite sitcoms. Just a really cool character. Excuse me. A really cool list of cast of characters and actors. Now, when this first came out, one of the things I was going to talk about this last week, but I hadn't watched it yet, so I was like, okay, I wasn't going to do the review, but it's musical related, and I do have some thoughts about it. Billie Holiday, first of all, she's not like one of those voices that I think is amazing, and yeah, it's just, and then especially towards the end of her life, the couple of documentaries and clips I've seen, like especially towards the end of her life, her voice really was shaky on shaky ground. And I just want to say that I'm not a big fan of her voice. Billie Holiday makes me sad, and I think one of the reasons why is because, and one of the craziest things is there is not a lot of, or if any, besides like a couple of movies she's done or a couple of appearances she's done, there's no video footage of Billie Holiday. It's not like, like a Beyonce. There's tons of Beyonce footage. There's tons of Diana Ross footage. There's tons of everybody. Aretha Franklin. There's tons of video footage. We can see how they acted. There's tons of interviews from them. Billie Holiday was sort of, I think she was caught up in her drug abuse and her drug inflictions, but her music was also important. But like the reason, I feel like one of the reasons why is because this is like the 40s, 30s, 40s, 50s, when stuff wasn't really popping like that, I don't think. Secondly, Billie, I believe she was casted out or not invited to like these late night shows because of probably her image. And I think she said with one dude, I'll probably bring it back up if I can't find it, but the one dude, Johnny Carson, I think she said, you think I'm gonna be on Johnny Carson's show? Johnny Carson and I used to do blow back in the day, like which makes sense. Well, let's not bring her on here, so she went to all of our business that we've done in the past. But there's no video footage of her, so any kind of, now that I'm realizing, any kind of content of any kind of recreation or content of Billie Holiday, it has to be, is based off of stories. It's based off of what people have said, and it's sort of taking your own creative license to who Billie was or how she acted or how she sounded sometimes in a way, because there's no actual video footage of her. There's only pictures. There's literally only pictures, which is, it's like this mystery woman. Okay, so one of the things that makes me sad is because her drug addiction and how that all entailed. But I didn't know about this, like the United States, and I'm forgetting like the terminology and everybody involved. I'm forgetting, I didn't know about like the United States, let's just say, the United States criminal side being so involved in her life and trying to stop her and feeding her and trying to set her up. I didn't know about all that. But also, I think because a cousin of mine, she also is a heroin addict, and for years I've heard about her trying to get over it, and it's like really addictive. I don't really know how she does it. Um, I'm not exposing too much, but I don't know how she does it. But it's just like annoying and exhausting to hear her talk about it, and like this stuff is very deadly, and I don't want anything to happen to her. And especially when you trying to get over it, I think they give you a little bit when you're trying to like become sober off of it. They give you a little bit of it to feel better and to get over it, but also like to get off of it is extremely difficult. And let alone the needles and stuff, like it physically makes you sick. And I think they said that in the Diana Ross one, like when they sent her to rehab, like you have to do something, you have to give a little, otherwise it will kill you trying to get off of it. Like, what the fuck is this shit? It's an opioid. Like, oh my gosh. You just think about some stuff. You're just like, what the hell is that? It's so powerful. Lee Daniels, he directed the film, and one review really went on how he was like talking, how Lee Daniels has this thing about negativity and drugs and this dark side of life, and how he's always talking about it, or how he's exposing it instead of sort of the more positive stuff about Billie's life. But I'm not sure there was such a positivity when she was always using heroin. But I don't know if it was his fault or not, but the movie looked ghetto as fuck. It just looked empty. It just looked low budget in a way. Like, and I feel like, I don't know how to explain this. I feel like, okay, I can see two sides. I can agree with both sides. Most of the time, flip two sides of the coin. I can understand both perspectives. I think that's a Virgo part of me. The movie, I feel like as time goes on, it seems like it might be a little bit more difficult to recreate certain time periods. As in, like, if we were in the 1990s or in the 1970s, it's a little bit easier to recreate the 1950s. Or maybe it just seemed like the scenes I just feel like the scenes maybe were too glamorous in a way. Or maybe that was her life. Maybe that was her life. Maybe I'm mistaken. It just seemed very low budget to me. And I'm just like, where are the people? Where's some of the actual facts? Like, one of the facts that wasn't true was that one of the facts that wasn't true in the movie that happened, one of the facts that didn't happen in the movie was when Billie got out of jail, they had the Carnegie Hall. She performed at Carnegie Hall. Carnegie Hall was packed. Billie packed the Carnegie Hall up to the point where they had chairs and people sitting on stage. Never happened before ever in the history of Carnegie Hall. Billie made history there. And they didn't show that. And I feel like they should have shown that. Also, the creative license part that I'm saying, one of the creative license parts, is how Billie was on stage. They kind of made her like, maybe I didn't see the footage or didn't hear the footage, but they kind of made her seem like sort of like a Rihanna on stage, having fun and free and talking back to the people and having a deep interaction with the audience. I don't know if that was true. I'm not saying it wasn't. It didn't necessarily feel like the story to me. It just made her, in a way, seem slightly more like her abuses, like maybe alcohol and the drug abuse was coming out more when it probably shouldn't have. Andra Day did an incredible job. And I do say that because, you know, she did really good. She was very vulnerable. She went there. Certain parts, I was very shocked. I didn't think that we were going to see, or I do feel like we saw too much sex. Like, okay, we get a Billie. Although Billie had some great looking, well, the movie did, has a great looking men as her manager, husbands, whatever they were to her. But I feel like one thing from also from this movie and from Lady Sings the Blues that they don't express or don't show is Billie Holiday's personality and her spunk and her sassiness and her Aries. Billie was an Aries, and one thing about the Aries, they're very unique. I noticed that. Diana Ross is very unique. Mariah is very unique. Lady Gaga is very unique. Billie Holiday is very unique. And they have this, like, they all have their different personality. And it's like one diva. Let's just call it diva. They have their diva personality, but it's in different aspects. It's their different own kind of weirdness, which I find that about Aries very interesting. At least the famous ones that we know of. I find that very interesting, very cool. And I think Aretha Franklin was an Aries, I believe, also. But I do wish they had her humor and her spunk, like some of the documentaries, like. Okay, one of the humorous moments was when they had the dog funeral. That was very funny, but I don't know if that was supposed to be funny or not. But okay. um, her addiction was incredibly sad. Um, I don't. Her addiction. Oh, her addiction to men and her. I mean, her addiction was that. Of course, her addiction was that. But I mean, her addiction to these men and her not being able to see them immediately for who they were. Like, man after man in the movie, they just took advantage of her and used her and beat her and abused her. Used and abused. Which we didn't see that much in the Diana Ross movie and Lady Sings the Blues. Also, okay, I'll get to Lady Sings the Blues in a few seconds. The strange fruit scene in the movie, oh my gosh. Powerful. We do know Andra Day. She won the Golden Globe for the movie. Andra Day. Okay, it was very confusing. I meant to ask my friend, I'll talk to you if you're listening to this, about it. But it was so fucking powerful. It was so fucking moving. I cried a little tear. When she walks through the grass and she sees this man, don't go away. This man hung from a tree. And she just loses it. And it's like the children. It brings you back to, like, it makes you think about how we don't know 100% what slavery was like. I feel like every day or every moment we're learning something new about slavery and how horrifying and horrible it was. Let alone Jim Crow, that Jim Crow era, and the hanging and the lynchings and the stuff in the 40s, 50s, and 60s that people went through. Things have gotten better from that, but not 100%. But we still don't understand, and it's very horrifying. And it affects not just that person, it affects their family, it affects their friends, it affects the people that are around them. In slavery days, it affected your entire family. It affected you, the mental health. I'm sure they had mental health issues. Excuse me. But they still got up and did work. It just brings you to this thing where you just, like, you don't know 100%. And sometimes I become block certain stuff out because it's too much, and then you realize, oh my god, the little kid is over there crying. Okay, I'm not gonna cry right now. Excuse me. Let's move along. But that scene was ooey. The weight issue. I have a thing about the weight issue. Okay, so when I first heard about the movie and Andra Day said, "Oh, I lost 50 pounds or whatever, however many pounds she lost for the movie," I was like, "What the fuck?" Billie Holiday was not no twink. Billie Holiday was a thickums, a thickatastic woman. Billie Holiday was a thick woman. Why are you losing weight? That's another thing I had a problem with Lady Sings the Blue. Why is Diana Twink Ross playing Billie Thick Booty Holiday? I didn't get it. I was just like, no. So then I end up reading. I mean, I watched the interview she did. She was like, well, I lost the weight because the movie, towards the end of her life, she was very emaciated, very thin, and Andra wanted to look like a drug addict. And I'm like, well, you could have done that in a way without losing weight, I'm sure. I don't think you needed to lose that much weight. And the movie wasn't 100% about the latter of her life. It was sort of about the sort of mid-range Strange Fruit, which was like a mid-career, I think, in her life. They could have given us some background information about Strange Fruit, which I believe it was a man. He hounded her down and tried to convince her over and over to do the song, and she didn't want to do it at first, and then she finally gave in and did it. I could have given us some background about that. But the weight thing, I just feel like sometimes when we're recreating certain roles, skin tone, voice, sometimes voice can get away. But skin tone and weight, I feel like those need to stick to the game. Because even, like, I've seen the footage of Billie when, like, towards the end of her life. And even then, like, she had a little plump to her. Yeah, she was thinner than what she was probably like 10 years ago at that point. But I didn't like the weight loss issue. Diana Ross, Lady Sings the Blues. I don't know what the fuck that movie was about. I do remember watching it like as a younger kid. And I think that kind of gave me like the strange Billie Holiday image. Like, Billie Holiday is kind of haunting to me. It's like the voice sometimes, and then like her story, the drugs, and then the way she looked towards. It's just a little too much for me sometimes. But I don't know what Lady Sings the Blue was about. This movie gave Billie more of a personality, more of a purpose than Lady Sings the Blues. We got the essence of Billie. I think Andra Day did a great job. The only time they didn't use Andra's voice was during the string when she finally sang Strange Fruit again. But Diana Ross used Diana Ross's voice. And it's like, Diana, you sound nothing like Billie. Billie Holiday's, to me, vocal range is very limited, and she's just like a unique one voice singer, sort of like a Dorinda Cole or Christina Aguilera. And at that time, I think people praised her for her voice, but I'm like, we didn't get better in time. You know, certain singers weren't born yet, so here we go. There was no cussing in. Billie cussed. There was no cussing in Lady Sings the Blues. There was no essence of Billie. The look wasn't there. Diana Ross was skinny. The voice, I feel like they played it safe. I feel like Diana wanted to play Diana. It was Billie Holiday. It was Diana Ross in Billie Holiday's eyes or whatever. I mean, Billie Holiday and Diana Ross's eyes. Instead of this movie was an interpretation of who Billie Holiday possibly was, who Billie Holiday was in a way. Because I think the only thing missing was her. Because she did the voice great. She did the cussing. She had a little bit personality, but I feel like, Billie's fun side could have been played more. Lady Sings the Blues were nominated for an Oscar. Andra Day will win probably the Oscar. I just feel like people gave Diana Ross too much at that time. Like, Diana, you're not the greatest actress, nor should you be playing Billie Holiday. Like, I get it, you love Billie, but it's not for you, baby. So, on that note, I'm going to say, what am I going to say? I don't know how I would rate this movie. This movie would be, okay, I'll give it a 4 out of 5. I did enjoy it. I was excited to see it, to see what was going to go on. Um, I think it did her more justice than Lady Sings the Blues. Absolutely. Absolutely. And it gave a different story that I don't think a lot of people knew. So, good job on that. There were some flaws, but isn't there always? So, thank you for listening. If you want to talk to me, let's talk about it. Leave a comment below if you're on YouTube. If you are not, let's talk about it on Instagram at My Love My Need Tonight. Thank you so much for listening. And we'll be back next week for another episode of Child, because Diana Ross and I've been playing Billie Holiday Child. Bye.